We're coming up on Mother's at the corner of Tchoupitoulas and Poydras in New Orleans. Now, Mother's used to be a locals type diner's place, and they served typical comfort food like po' boys, red beans and rice, jambalaya, gumbo, stewed chicken, various things. After a while, about 20 years ago or so, the tourists found out about Mother's, and all of a sudden you started to see a big long line going in whenever you came here. Now the line's pretty good right now. It's not as crowded as it normally is, but it's certainly big. Thank you.
Mother's restaurant was opened in 1938. It was originally established as a place for po' boys, but over time it added other iconic New Orleans specialties such as crawfish etouffee, gumbo, and jambalaya. During World War II, it became a popular hangout for the Marines in the city, and it was later named the unofficial TUN Tavern New Orleans. The original TUN Tavern is where the Marine Corps was born. Mother's is still a favorite of blue-collar workers in New Orleans, and it keeps the atmosphere you can only find in an 80-plus-year-old diner. It's a great place to go for home-style food. You go for the food, not the atmosphere. I came today for the bread pudding.
Mother's has become popular over the years for a number of things that they've had on their menu. They come up with a black ham. They're the only place I know in town that does a black ham. It's a little bit sweeter than your normal ham, but it's a really nice, salty, sweet flavor. It's a good combination. They also make a dish called debris. And when you stew roast beef, what falls to the bottom of the pot, they call that debris. Now, I'm not sure whether Mother's invented that or not. You see it all over New Orleans now. But when I was here 20 years ago, Mother's was pretty much the only place you could get debris. The other things they do that are pretty popular, they make a sandwich, a po' boy, out of debris and the black ham. They put it together. They call that the Ferdy Special. They also make a sandwich called the Ralph Special po' boy, and that's like a Ferdy Special with cheese on top of it. Both are very good. People tend not to like their other po' boys, but those two po' boys are unique to Mother's, and they're very tasty, if a bit sloppy.
Another thing they have here that I don't see in a lot of places is that they have a fountain drink type dispenser where they keep both orange juice and Bloody Mary mix. Hi, good. Just checking it out. Yeah. They do Bloody Mary mix in the fountain dispenser for people who want a Bloody Mary for breakfast. And Mother's is a very popular place for breakfast, and it's certainly worthwhile. You can get eggs, you can get grits, you can get biscuits, and their ham or some other kind of meat. Now, as you see, I've gotten my my red beans and rice. The first time I tried this was probably around 1996 or so, and it tasted like chili to me. And I asked, well, what is this? Is this some kind of chili? And they said, no, it's Mother's red beans and rice. It's the first time I tried it. It is my favorite red beans and rice. Well, as I said earlier, I came for the bread pudding, but I couldn't pass up the chance to have some red beans and rice while I was here in town. I haven't had this for about 8 to 10 years, so I was definitely not going to pass it up this time. Now I'm putting a little hot sauce on here, and the hot sauce you use in New Orleans is Crystal hot sauce. Do not use Tabasco. Only the amateurs use Tabasco. The New Orleans hot sauce is definitely the Crystal. Now this is good because the beans have become creamy, mixed with the rice. Got a lot of nice flavor, a heavy thyme flavor to it. They cook ham hocks in some water so you get the ham hock flavor as well. There's also sausage in here. Some shredded ham. Every bit as good as I remember. If you want to try a real good red beans and rice, come to Mother's in New Orleans, and you're going to get one of the best. The next thing I came for is the bread pudding. There are people who say that this is the best bread pudding in town, so I definitely had to try it. What's different here is they have fruit cocktail in their bread pudding, and that gives a little tanginess that you don't get with ordinary bread pudding. I noticed the sauce around the bottom is very decadent, it's very buttery, so we're going to try this. That is an extremely rich sauce. Very tasty, good bread pudding. So this definitely gets the rating as right up there, one of the top 5 bread puddings I've ever had. It's very good. It's really good.
Bread pudding?
Bread pudding with fruit cocktail in it.
I saw when I walked by, like, I'm getting one of those.
It's really good.
Was this good, the red beans and rice?
Oh, the red beans and rice is the best in town.
Oh, is it?
Yes.
Well, that's good to know. It's not one of my favorites.
I would say, so a lot of people have been asking me, they walk by, they see the bread pudding, they're asking about it. Apparently, it's not something everybody knows to order, but it's really tasty. And of course, you sit here and you crave the little pieces of peach, pear, cherry that you get from the fruit cocktail in it, and the buttery, buttery sauce. Here we go! Okay, I just got a grape. That was good. Good. It's rich. You can't eat it too much, but it's definitely worthwhile eating once in a while. Mother's is on Poydras, just outside the French Quarter, but it has attracted hordes of tourists with its good, consistent home-style food and down-home style. It's not unusual to see a line when you get there. You might have to wait in line half an hour for breakfast. But if you're looking for grits, ham and eggs, this is the place to get them. Now, if you're looking for some fine dining, this is not the place to come. But if you want good food, this is the place.